Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. This is EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Zachticum behind the camera. It's a big day here at EST. The buzz is high right now with the ESTs coming up. Gage are here. Fun show like usual on the EST Afternoons. Reminder, you can listen in on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tune in radio, iHeartRadio, or watch us on the EST YouTube channel. You want to chime in, text us at 780-218-9999 or on the world famous Nasty Chat. Fun show. We're going to continue our NHL previews. We're going to go to Vancouver. We're going to get a full scouting report on Vasily Podkolzin. and then we're going to be joined by Edmonton Elks quarterback Tyrell Ford's twin brother Tyrell, who's having an outstanding season with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He'll join us at 1:40. Israel Fehr at 2:20 to talk Canucks. But Gager, just being here around the studios and this building today, there's a different buzz.
Yeah, the awards show, man. This is crazy. I've been monitoring the Nasty Chat and the text line 780-218-9999, and a lot of people are excited. A lot of predictions of how tonight's going to go. Some who's going to win, who's going to walk away a massive loser.
There's 5 winners already.
I know,
including Tommy, Maddie, Eric.
Yeah, don't get me started on Tommy today. Tommy's
Teen Burger Gate.
It's unbelievable what this guy has done. All I've done is support Tom Gazzola and everything he's done, and he does me dirty like this. It's a little disappointing, and I hope Tommy's night doesn't go well.
Yeah, Tommy, I think, took down 2 Teen Burger. In his defense, there's
no defense.
You weren't here yet, though, Gager, and he went around and asked everybody, "Do you want it? Do you want this burger?" And everybody said no, and he goes, "Okay, I'll have it."
See, this is what he did with the jerky too. This is a TG move. I know your game now, Tommy. I know what you're up to. Now that I'm around here a lot more.
You're on to him.
Yeah, things got to change.
I'm gonna give him credit because he tied my tie.
You can't tie a tie?
No, okay, listen. I learned last year, because last year about week 4, Chris Jones on travel said everybody's in a suit and tie to be like more professional. So I was like, I can't go to my dad or Tommy every time I need to travel and get so I learned on YouTube, and the knot is not top notch yet. So I was like, I work with Tom. I'm going to see him, and he does a really nice job tying that knot.
What type of knot do you use? Do you even know the name?
Is it Windsor?
Yeah. Is it a full Windsor, like a double Windsor, or a full Windsor, or a half Windsor?
I think it's a full, because that's the more
fat
one. Yeah, I think that's the one, and that's the one I like. So, so shout out to Tommy. So I can't be mad at him.
Well, I could have done it for you, and you could stay mad at him.
Hey, yesterday we hit 91 thumbs up. We're already rolling. We're at 23. We got about an hour and 50 minutes to go here. Let's hit 100 for the ESTYs. And you know what was cool today? We got to meet the Nielsen's.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Mom and Pop. They were great. They brought in some donuts from the Italian Center. And it was great to meet HR Daddy. I've been emailing with him some work stuff, but his mother is she's...
They look quite young.
Yes, they do. Wonderful.
I think I saw them at the Hockey Helps the Homeless, I think, if they were there. And I was like shocked at how young Dusty's parents are.
Yeah, and she's great, man. Like, she's got a personality.
Oh,
I can see where Dusty gets his, his what would you call it? His Nature Good ribbon and all that. So it was great. But like I said, it's been an unbelievable buzz here. Maddie's down there already trying to get through everything, setting everything up. Reed and Jay will have their show there live from 3 to 6. That's going to be kind of cool, Gager. I'll probably roll in around 6. Remember, doors open at 6:15, and tickets are still available, but there's not many left. So please, if you need tickets and would like to attend, hit up Matt at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. But let's go with this. Oh, and Zach, I just want you to chime in here because we had an awesome guest on UFC. My GF was all over it. She loves UFC, and she's like, I wish that she was on longer and all that, but like Rose, and I just don't want to butcher her last name.
Rosa Namajunas.
And what's her nickname?
Thug Rose. So
I love that.
Thug Rose.
Thug Rose. And I was telling the boys on the Hangout before she came on, you could check that out. I uploaded the entire interview on our YouTube at Edmonton Sports Talk. You could also get the full podcast on Apple or Spotify just for the direct interview of Rosa Namajunas. But she got the nickname because she grew up in a predominantly African-American neighborhood, and she was the only white girl part of the group. And she was the smallest, but yet acted like the toughest. So she got the nickname Thug Rose.
And
come on.
And she was great, great answer.
Yeah, no, I watched.
And
I had to give it to someone in the nest. She said, "Oh, look how small I could take her." I said, "Yeah, maybe to dinner. That's about it."
Take one shot from her, you're probably on the ground.
No, you'd be in the pretzel hold before you knew it.
Yeah, she was great. And you said her husband is former UFC Barry. What's his first name?
So her husband is Pat Barry. I believe he did fight in the UFC. He was a kickboxer as well, and he's a very well-known coach and is her coach and cornerman. Pat Barry was also in studio supporting his wife here as she does a bunch of media in the city, but it was cool to meet him as well. Got to shake his hand and meet both of them. It was a great time.
He was a kickboxer, right? He used to have like huge legs.
Really?
Oh yeah, he was
kick you nonstop, man.
He was built like a brick house.
A brick house.
Yeah.
I like that.
He was a little shy, which surprised me a bit.
He seemed very, very tame, very, very to himself, but not a guy you want to mess with. That's without a doubt. Without a doubt. Either of them, I mean, whoever said in the nasty chat that, even though she's 5'2" or something, 125 she fights at, right?
Jeez.
So I was even saying to Trev before she entered the EST studios here that she could whoop anybody's butt here in the entire studio. Even Dusty, I think. Dusty's 6'5", but I would put my money on Rose 100 times over.
I remember there was a time when I played in Hamilton. God, there's a famous kind of jiu-jitsu gym in Hamilton, and we went there, and George wrestled the guy.
Yeah.
There was the father and the son actually fought competitively still. It might have been Muay Thai or whatever. And it was hilarious because George thought he was just going to railroad this guy, and before you knew it, he had George's back, and George was tapping he looked like a drummer on drums, tapping so fast. It was hilarious how fast he got George and then got his back and had him almost asleep. And within, I would say, probably 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
And he was about 150, 160, and George was at that point 240, 245.
There was a video, and Zach probably knows this, where I think it's Strickland, the fighter, the former champ, and some random guy he wanted to go in the ring with him, and he was just letting him, hit me all you want, and then he let loose for 20 seconds. The poor guy was just done.
Oh yeah, I think I don't remember if that was specifically Aiden Ross. It was some influencer of that sort, but that happens a lot where, these influencers think it'd be a fun time in the ring and maybe take a kick from a martial artist. But man, even just the one hit thrown and landed, it was you could see how much he was grimacing. And my buddy, I told him that we were going to have Rose in studio, and he was like, well, if Pat Barry's there, you should ask him to kick you once. And I'm like, no.
You would not be going to the ESTYs.
Yeah, I said probably my bosses wouldn't like that one.
Yeah, Matt Hyman on the Nasty Chat says, Pat Barry is incredible. Met him night before his UFC 161 fight in Winnipeg, and he was entertaining and so funny. Spency 5 cents, he says, yup, was an awesome hangout episode today. Worth a watch if you haven't. Caster 1990 says, I've met Hernan a couple of times. I'm really excited for a chance to finally meet the one and only.
Well, you know what they
Joaquin
say. Never meet your heroes.
It's gonna be great to mingle and meet all the listeners, because I feel like we're a little behind on meeting all the listeners, because the four horsemen that started everything, every event they're at, they get so many listeners, so many nasties out. So it's gonna be great to kind of put the name to a face.
Yeah.
Because all we do is see it on the nasty chat or on the inbox, right?
Shoot, yesterday I met a nasty too. I had to drop my daughter off for dance, and then I went to the BPs where we were at on Gateway. Just I was doing some work, and a guy came up to me and said, "See you tomorrow at the ESTYs," and shook my hand. I forget your name, who it was, but he said his name on the chat. But that was hilarious.
Oh, that's great. That's great. We will talk sports, but it's like I said, the buzz here has been top notch. Everybody's heading home. Everybody's getting their suits ready. And then I think most people are going to Uber. Don't, like Maddie said, if you're going to try not to drive because it is limited parking and you're probably going to have one or two bevies. So Uber, taxi, whatever you need to do, get a ride, get dropped off, whatever. But be safe. And we look forward to seeing you down there at the Metro Garden Theater at 6-ish. And it's going to be a hell of a night. We are going to get to some hockey talk as well as the Oilers kick off medicals and medical testing. Fitness testing, tomorrow, and then hit the ice Thursday, Gage. We finally made it. It's going to be great to talk. I mean, there's not a lot of position battles for the Edmonton Oilers, but there's a few players I think we're interested. Vasily Podkolzin's one, Ty Emberson is the other. But as the Oilers kick off here, we're going to kind of do a question of the day regarding the Oilers going forward. And the first one will start today, and we'll discuss in the second segment. But I want to kind of give this to you and Zach right now. We're going to talk about, and it's one of the bigger stories because our own Tom Gazzola broke it. And I see a lot of you out there trying to take credit for that. It was Tom Gazzola who broke it.
It was Tom.
Don't be that guy or gal. All right. But anyways, Darnell Nurse looks like he's still got some lingering issues from the playoffs. I think he got hurt in Game 5, Gage, if I'm not mistaken. Remember?
He got that pincher, kind of grabbed his side.
And he stayed on the bench but barely played, and it was in Florida, so I think it was Game 5, but it's still bugging him. He is skating with the team, but he's not doing any hard skating or the contact yet. But this is a guy that I think there's two levels. You either love him or you hate him. There's no in between. He had a rough season last season. He had a rough playoffs, but he's an important part of this team. So this is where I want to get to. He's 29 years old. I know in our first week we talked about Darnell. Can the game still slow down for you at that age? Can you continue to get better? And you said yes, you're a guy that played the game, but what is the biggest deficiency in Darnell's game? And I have 4 things. You can add to it, Gager, but I have defensive awareness, making plays under pressure. And what I mean is when the puck gets dumped in and they're behind their goal line, like, can he make a solid pass? Can he, put it around the boards and get it to his player instead of turning it over consistently like him and CC did a lot last year? Number 3, trying to do too much. He's always trying to overcompensate for his partner or for a forward that's late, and then defending off the rush. We've seen him kind of back into his goalie a little too much at times. The play that you and Kaz hate the most is when he's on his belly, trying to defend an odd man rush.
It's the play that I have trouble with Darnell is the 50-50 play, right?
Okay.
Where he gets in between something, whether he's just standing at his position or trying to get out there and block a shot.
Yeah.
Like he gets in that 50-50 range where he's not helping anything. So if he doesn't block it, it gets past him, he's in a bad place. Usually he's already down, so he's taking himself out of the play. The decision making I would like to see made more efficiently, I guess would say. But I think where it comes from with Darnell is he is such a good athlete and so fast and such a good skater that for years that's been able to get him out of trouble a lot of times. And we always nitpick the mistakes for a lot of times, but there are thousands of things that Darnell Nurse does really well, but they don't get as much credit as the mistakes. And I think you see that with him, his ability to recover because he's such a good skater, because he's strong and physical at times. But Father Time's undefeated, right? And you start to lose a little bit of that. And I think now that when you become a little bit more, more seasoned, Darnell Nurse picking his spots a little bit more in certain areas. I think this is where you really start to, discover your game and becomes more cerebral as you age instead of just relying on your physical attributes.
So I think you're leaning more towards like it's the awareness. Like you said, it's that 50-50 play. When sometimes he's in no man's line, you're like he doesn't know where to go. Go to the defenseman, stay and try to block the shot and all that. So it's because there's a lot. And I had 4. You added 1, kind of the 50-50 play. Zach, do you have one that you see Darnell Nurse struggles with the most during his inconsistencies?
Just some of the sort of plays that he struggles with, you're saying?
Yeah, like for you, is it making plays under pressure? Is it his awareness? Is it defending off the rush? Is it trying to do too much?
There's certain instances where it shows a bit of both in his game, like a bit of each piece.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's got to be performing really under that pressure. Like he hasn't evolved in that sense to translate his game into the playoffs. Whatever good things he does have in his game in the regular season, hasn't been able to translate that into postseason play.
Yeah.
And I think that is the biggest thing. Like it was not pretty watching Darnell Nurse in the playoffs, and he was a big really hunch for the Oilers, and it sucked really bad.
Yeah.
To really watch that, and somebody who should be playing up to that standard. Especially when the time is now to play your best hockey, and he just didn't. I got to say, it just plays under pressure, and big moments is where he kind of lacks playing consistently.
But it shows you how good the team was too, right?
Yeah.
That's the most ridiculous thing about this whole thing is they were 2 goals away from winning the Stanley Cup, and Darnell Nurse had not at his best. So
and not even close to his
not
best.
even close to his best.
Yeah.
We've seen him play way better than that. So I said this at the end of last year. There's certain seasons that things just don't click. Like you have inconsistent play. I would look to Darnell to have a bounce back season. Look, he's got to be just a stalwart back there and a huge defensive presence where, when the other team sees him on the ice, they go, gosh, I got to try to do something against this guy again.
Yeah, Tube Socks on the inbox says, Jeebus, Hernan, that list describes the only 4 things you want to demon. Exactly, but that's why the question is, which one of those 4 or 5 things for you is the biggest concern regarding Darnell Nurse? What does he need to work on? What's that one thing where he'll kind of elevate his game and bring that consistency back? We'll get to more Darnell Nurse talk and some cool NHL little tidbits coming out today as well, and some signings. That's all coming up next in the second segment here on EST Afternoons. Reminder, you can hit us up on the inbox at 780-218-9999 and keep those comments coming on the Nasty Chat. But first up, here is a sports update with Zach Kubusch.
With hockey right around the corner, the Oilers have released their broadcasting schedule for the upcoming season. Their home opener goes on October 9th against the Jets, and Connor McDavid and Connor Bedard will play against each other on October 12th. The first preseason game for the Oilers is on the 22nd, once again against the Jets. And over in Dallas, they've signed defenseman Esa Lindell to a 5-year extension worth an average of $5.25 million per season. The 30-year-old was drafted 74th overall back in 2012 and has played his entire career with the Stars. The schedule for the 2025 World Junior Championship has been released. The tournament will take place from December 26th to January 5th, 2025 out in Ottawa. In baseball, the Blue Jays are back in action tonight against the Rangers. First pitch goes at 6:05. And in the fighting game, Sean O'Malley is to undergo hip surgery after losing his belt this past weekend. The former UFC bantamweight champ is scheduled for his surgery on October 3rd and will fully recover in 6 to 12 months. After the break, Hernan and Gager will get back more into some Oilers talk and also some CFL, NFL recap and previews for the upcoming season before Trey Ford's twin, Tyrell Ford, joins us at about 1:40. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your EST Update.
Get ready, Edmonton. The moment you've been waiting for is here. It's time to celebrate the best of the best with the ESTYs, as we honor everything from Edmonton Sports Talk's incredible first year. Join us on September 17th at Metro Cinema for an unforgettable night of excitement, laughter, and recognition. Tickets are just $10. Secure your spot by emailing matt@edmontonsportstalk.com. And after the show, let's keep the party going at Hudson's White Ave for the official after party. Mark your calendar, grab your tickets, and get ready to celebrate the best moments of EST. It's the ESTYs, September 17th.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
At A&W, you can start the morning off right with a regular coffee and an egger of your choice for just $4.99. Bacon and egger, or sausage and egger, on a seeded bun, or an English muffin? The choice is yours. But we know it'll be tasty either way. And to make matters even more delicious, this offer is available all day. But don't snooze on this deal. An egger and a regular coffee for only $4.99 is a limited time price. Available at participating A&W restaurants in Greater Edmonton.
.125 here on EST Afternoons. I'm Hernan Salas, joined by my co-host Joaquin Gage, and behind the camera, it's our one and only Zachticum, as we're all getting ready here for the ESTYs that go tonight at the Garneau Metro Theater, whatever you want to call it. 6:15, doors open. Tickets still available. If you want to attend, please reach out to Matt at Edmonton Sports Talk.com. Reminder, if you want to chime in, text us at 780-218-9999 or hit us up on the Nasty Chat. And like always, we're coming to you from the William Huff Studios here in the west end of the city. We finished last segment talking about kind of the what's the main issue for Darnell Nurse. What do you see in his game? What does he need to improve on? And Gene's Apprentice says here on the Nasty Chat, Darnell tries too hard. He has trust issues. Simple as that. And Gager, when I brought up the making plays under pressure, it's hard for every defenseman, even the great ones. You're dumping the puck in, the guys are coming at you full force. And a lot of the blame would always go to his partner, Cody Ceci. Maybe he couldn't handle the pass, or maybe he made a bad pass to Darnell Nurse and they just couldn't get the puck out and all that. I'm here to tell you this. Darnell Nurse is probably in for that again, because right now his partner is up in the air. And whoever it is, it's either going to be a guy that's playing too high up in the lineup or a young guy like Emberson who doesn't have the experience.
It's history kind of repeating itself again this season, with most likely what the Oilers coaching staff wanted to see in the preseason with defensive matchups. I guess that's the only good thing about having 8 preseason games. And not that Darnell would be in a lot of them, but at least you could probably play him with 1 or 2 different guys, right? And see if there's... That's so hard to do, though, to get that that camaraderie, or that, the almost sixth sense of playing with someone over a longer period of time. You always see in the NHL the guys that have played together, like the pairings that have played together, it's like they know where they are all the time, right?
Yeah.
It's put them a little bit behind the 8 ball, I think, with how at least the preseason's going to start. But then again, I really don't think you'd see Darnell Nurse playing upwards of 7 or 8 preseason games too. But it would have been nice to get a little bit of a look. I want to say Stetcher played with him for a bit.
Yes, and everybody wanted to see that for more games.
Yeah.
Stetcher got in some games late, but it was like a one-off.
Well, I've said it numerous times, but he was in the box the whole game too, right? But having the righty-lefty, I do like that with Darnell, but it's all communication too. If D-men aren't talking and providing those good outlets, putting pucks in a position for, always supporting your partner, it's like you see them. It's like a hook and snakes and ladders thing, right? They're just always in a good position to bail each other out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure out something because that's you saw what Florida did. I mean, they were one of the best forechecking teams in the league, and it's a tough team to break out against. That was kind of my whole reasoning of why they should keep Broberg, because he defeated it so much just with his skating, right? And his puck it was pretty impressive that he was able to do stuff like that.
So I'll say this: isn't it concerning a little bit that because he played with CC a lot when CC was here, right? Like that was a mainstay, and they had a lot of issues. And you said communication sometimes seemed like they were a new pairing on some nights because I wouldn't say the communication wasn't there. What I'm saying is that they had a lot of blunders. They had a lot of tough times getting out of their own zone. Isn't that kind of a little scary now that he's going to be playing with a guy that's brand new and a guy that he doesn't really know well? And if training camp, let's just say he can't play in any preseason games, that's a tough start for Darnell.
No. Look, he's got over how many games does Darnell?
7. I'll look it up.
Yeah, so I don't think so. I think at this point, whoever you play with, as long as you're starting, it's not just games. Like there's practicing, and he has been practicing with a lot of these guys, with drills and things like that. So getting used to where guys are, where the guys place their stick, that good first pass to your partner. I'm not going to put that much into it. We said it. He has to have a much better season. He should make the guy that's playing next to him a better defenseman just by playing with Darnell Nurse. He has to make people around him better this year. He can't be relying on someone to raise the level of his game.
So we're over that excuse then.
Yeah, that's done. I don't
like now he has to make his partner better.
Maybe not, but
not
compliment.
make him better. Compliment.
Yeah, I think is a better word to say. Both people need to. Both partners need to compliment each other. I think that's the synergy of a really good defensive pair, right? So, no, I think sometimes a fresh start's good. Like you can't tell me that these guys hadn't heard for over 2 years. Oh, this pairing, it's got to change. So they're automatically out there, trying to show everyone wrong.
Yeah,
immediately. Maybe a little bit of a fresh start. With whoever is paired with Darnell Nurse, and it might be multiple guys. It might change, right? So, but no, I like a fresh start. I think it's good.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when we say like kind of you got to help your partner, but that's what kind of gets Darnell in trouble, right? When he's trying to do too much and he's kind of going over to help on the right side, and they get caught and all that, and you see that more on the like off the rush. Right. He's kind of doesn't know where he's going, and he's trying to overcompensate for his partner, trying to cover too much, and that's when he gets in trouble. So I think what you said, the perfect word you said was he has to compliment his defenseman, not help him and try to cover him up. And
vice versa. I think it should be a two-way street with that. And again, this is Darnell Nurse using his physical attributes to do certain things that sometimes get him. Yeah, we see him try to do too much when he just kind of lets the play come to him and makes good reads, and the decision making is immediate and not like, oh, do I go, do I not go? Like make the decision quick and be 100% in your decision, because then it's easier for the rest of the four guys to read off you.
And this might be tough for any of us to answer at this point, but would it make sense to go with Stetcher with Nurse to start just because Stetcher is a vet, has played a lot of games in the NHL instead of Ty Emberson, or does it all depend on the preseason and what you see? I'm
not going to say that exactly. I think that's what you would like. I think it's an easier fit with someone with that many NHL games of experience playing in the league before. But I want to see both. I want to see Stetcher and Emberson. I want to multiple different situations. I think I still don't know about the PK, right? Like
that's a great point.
I don't.
CC, as much as we can sit here and say CC struggled at 5-on-5, he was excellent on the PK.
Yeah, I mean, if come trade deadlines, CeCe's the perfect player that the Oilers probably would want at that point, And I think he'd come back with open arms too. I think he'd love to come back, but we'll.
And I wasn't a big CeCe guy, and I know our boy Cass is. He knows him, and I get it. Listen, it's not that I was like he's a terrible. He can't play. Like he's an NHL defenseman, third pairing guy. Was probably asked to play a little bit higher up. But I've said this since they traded him. If you're going to trade CeCe, you needed to get someone better than him. And now Emberson might be, but we don't know that. And right now,
it could be. If he is, that's great. Like if he comes in, fits in, and is like CeCe or like he's younger, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So lots more road ahead for him. I mean, it's going to be a fascinating. What are we, like 5 days away from the first game? Obviously, that's not going to be the pairing. Do we know who from rookie camp is staying for main camp?
No, we don't. Okay. I think we'll find out. I mean, the obvious one we know is Savoy. I mean, the kid that was fighting everybody, Corbet, he's probably going to stay.
You think?
Well, I mean, why not? Just give him a few looks.
I mean, that's where you do get looks, right? But I just wanted to know who they invited to main camp from the rookie camp. Yeah. See what happens.
Gene's Apprentice says, I think it was John Shannon who said Emberson will be a pleasant surprise. And that's what we're hearing, Gager. And again, I'm not going to say that because I haven't watched him play. I don't really know much about him here. So that's probably the most watched spot. Hey, going into left fourth line center, what's Put Colson going to do? I mean, I think those are like in there as top stories, but I think the defense right now is the huge one. Who's going to play with Darnell Nurse if he's healthy?
Yeah, and I don't think we'll see him until at least game, if we do it all, 6, 7, or 8. Right?
Yeah. Zach, do you have the Caps jersey there ready to go?
Yes, I do.
Can you pull that up? Nope. Yeah, there we go. The Screaming Eagle jersey's back. Capitals will wear this jersey for 6th game this season as part of their 50th anniversary celebrations. Gager, when you see that jersey, who do you think of?
Peter Bondra, actually.
That's a good one. I was going to say Olaf Kolzig.
Oh, Ole. Yeah, I mean, Ole was a beast. But I think Peter Bondra, is the one that...
Chris Simon.
Yeah. I mean, Ovi scored that ridiculous goal from his back on his, behind him.
When he did the stick is hot. Yeah.
No, but that's... I'm glad. I've always liked that jersey. I think it's great. It'll be neat to see them.
I saw it this morning on X, and I see a lot of people, like media and fans alike, saying, like, why would they go to that one when they have so many other good ones? I like this look.
Why not? I mean, once in a while, it's good to go back, and it's 6 games. Jeez, people, relax.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah.
I like the ancient old Capitals jersey, too. Like, as soon as I see that, it was like Rod Langway or Dale Hunter, the Capitals with the stars on there. I think that's great. I mean, it was when I think of that, you're right. Like Ole Kolzig going up against the Detroit Red Wings in that.
Yeah.
In that the one thing I remember a lot was really because I think Hasek played for the Red Wings, and he made one of those stupid saves where he's on his back and reaching back and doing it. And Ole went into like practice the next day because they lost. I think it was in game 1. And Ole goes down and just gets into that position and just lays there for the first drill, helping guys score when goalies are like that. So it was pretty funny.
I think Zachticum was on that team that went to the finals against Detroit.
Oh, he might have been too, hey?
Yeah. Because they got swept. I remember it was quick.
Well, I was at Capitals camp the next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and seeing Bondra and Oates and Joe Juno?
Joe Juno
was there then. Very interesting group of individuals, to say the least.
Toopsock says, ghastly jersey. I like it. I think it's going to... And you know what, Gabe? It sucks to say this, and I'm including myself. You're getting old when this is like they're bringing this back as a historic and stuff. And Ovi Ward already.
Geez. That was Ovi's first jersey, was it not?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So.
138. We're just ahead of Tyrell Ford from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as they play a big game here in Edmonton on Saturday down at Commonwealth Stadium. They're the two hottest teams in the CFL. We'll talk to Tyrell coming up next, and we'll continue in the second hour with Darnell Nurse. We'll go around the sports world as well. We got to recap NFL game as well. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk. Here is a sports update with Zachticum.
The Oilers have released their broadcasting schedule with their home opener on October 9th against the Jets. They also play the Jets for their preseason opener on the 22nd. Red Black star linebacker will miss the remainder of the season. Darius Pickett suffered an Achilles injury last game against the Tiger Cats, and the 28-year-old is 8th in tackling this season in his first year with the team. The Elks are back this weekend playing against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That game goes at 5 p.m. this Saturday. And Jason Milne as well as Matthew Iwanek will have the Green and Gold kickoff show live from the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge at 4 p.m. The Dallas Stars have signed defenseman Esa Lindell to a 5-year extension worth an average $5.25 million per season. The 30-year-old was drafted 74th overall back in 2012 and played his entire career with the Stars. Just after the break, Trey Ford's twin, Tyrell Ford from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, will be joining Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage here on EST Afternoons. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and now you're up to date.
Why tee off at the Ranch Golf and Country Club?
A fun, unique layout offering premier conditions. The Ranch has been ranked as one of the top public courses in Canada.
Unmatched value. Score Golf Magazine rated the Ranch as the best value in Edmonton.
The service, from tournaments to special events to the pro shop. Superior service that makes every visit exceptional.
The Ranch Golf and Country Club, a laid-back environment where anyone can enjoy an amazing day on the fairways. For details, visit theranchgolf.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as newborn 8-pound, 6-ounce Mitch Lewicki. You can picture grown-up Mitch, or teenage Mitch, or bearded Mitch, or whoever you want.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road. Park Mazda does.
Celebrate the grand opening of Sit and Sleep and discover a revolutionary way to shop for mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, you'll get free local delivery on any mattress over $5.99 and receive a bamboo cooling mattress protector. Get grand opening savings now with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the celebrations at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness.
.142 CST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk, static free since 23. I'm Hernan Salas, joined by Joaquin Gage and our producer Zach Kubusch, as we're happy to bring on Tyrell Ford from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He's having an outstanding season. They have a big game here in Edmonton on Saturday. Tyrell, you're on with Hernan and Joaquin. How you doing? Oh. We're going to have to reconnect.
He was, that wasn't him. That was, oh, God.
We are good. We do have him.
Okay. Tyrell, you there? Yeah, we can hear you. Thank you for taking the time to join us today, Tyrell. How are the first few days of practice going for your squad there after the bye week?
I'm sorry, you cut out. Hold on. Let me try to get it back.
Yeah, Tyrell, can you hear me now?
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I could kind of hear you for a second there. Let me go out on the field, I guess. Oh.
Okay. Well, Zach, can you just put him on hold and then let me know when he's good to go there? Tyrell Ford there, just finishing up practice and meetings with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, having an outstanding season, Gager. He leads he's tied for the league lead with Roland Milligan with 6 INTs on the season. And a guy that in 2022 he played, but mostly special teams, went down to the NFL in 2023, had training camp with the Green Bay Packers. Didn't play the rest of the year as he was released following camp. And then this year he's just jumped on the scene, man.
I mean, it's something with that family. They're obviously highly skilled. And even hearing, readings of certain things, quarterbacks are actually scared to throw to his side.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because they're.
And he could have 10.
Yeah.
He's dropped a few.
So very, very encouraging to see Canadian talent getting a chance in the CFL. I always wish that I love to see Canadians go down and do well in the NFL, but look, it's he keeps this up. I'm sure some eyebrows are raised down south for him for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure this is not the end of his looks down south. I'm just Nash Osborne on the Nasty chat. He put, "Is that you, Satan?"
That's
the deep voice
yeah,
there.
it was a deep voice. No, but it wasn't the. I think we had that problem the other day with someone too.
Yeah, we got to go the old route. The board's giving us some issues, so we can bring him on, but there's a bit of a delay because in his response, I can't bring it through the board, else he'll sound like Batman or Darth Vader. So we do have Tyrell on the line.
All right, Tyrell, thank you again. Hopefully this works out nice and smooth. But how are the first couple of days of practice going after your bye week?
It's been good. Definitely kind of just getting back into it. I was in Banff with my brother for the bye week, so we're talking a little bit there. But yeah, definitely getting off the little bit of rust that built up for the week, but feeling pretty good and excited to play against my brother.
Okay, Tyrell, I completely butchered a question yesterday. I asked your brother because I heard there was some brotherly love between video gaming. I'm not sure which console you guys are using, Xbox or PlayStation, but is it true that you guys go at it head to head on online and in gaming? And if so, who's the better player?
So yeah, that's a pretty interesting one. I'm going to say it depends on the game. I remember a couple of days, probably a couple of weeks ago, we played NCAA, and he beat me by I think 60. So yeah, we don't really play that one anymore, but we play 2K, and he's definitely a little bit better than me, but I do play on his team, so it's not too bad. But yeah, we're battling it out.
Hey, Tyrell, I have a question for you. When you're watching film and you're breaking it down with your defense and your coaches and all that, and you're watching your brother on film, how cool is it / weird? You're just sitting there saying, damn, that's my brother. He's a pretty damn good player.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's definitely interesting. He's a very dynamic player. And we're watching film, and every time I see him start scrambling, I just think, oh, my God, my job has got so much harder. So it's a little bit annoying in that sense. But it's just he really sometimes makes it look like he's playing in university or high school again. And it's fun to watch, but I don't want to see it happen against us.
Tyrell, both the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Edmonton Elks have had kind of a surgence over the last few weeks. A lot of people are saying that you guys both are the best teams playing in the CFL right now. How is your team's mindset going into probably, in these 2 back-to-back games, probably the most important games of the season?
So yeah, I think we treat it like every week, to be honest. We don't really pay too much attention to the past, the past few weeks. They don't really matter. We just got to focus on going 1-0 this week and executing our game plan. And performing at a high level. Hopefully get the win.
Tyrell, you're having an outstanding season. You got 6 INTs. You're tied for the league lead with Roland Milligan in Saskatchewan. I know in 2022 you were on the team, but you played mostly special teams. What's kind of led to this fantastic season you're having? And, coming in, did you expect yourself to be, I guess, this dynamic and up there in the leaderboards when it comes to INTs?
I feel like I've always been able to make plays on the ball, and even in my first year, it sucks, but I didn't feel like I really got the full opportunity to go out there. So when I got the chance this year, I just tried to seize the opportunity, and I kind of just did what I do. I feel like I'm a good corner that can always make plays on the ball, and make the big plays when I come my way, and that's just what I try to do.
Is there, obviously he's your brother and I don't want you to give away too much, but is there certain tendencies or are there things that you kind of can pick up on and add to your game going into Saturday evening?
As far as tendencies, there's not like anything like, I guess that I would notice. I've seen it so much, so like, it just looks normal to me. I don't really pick up on too much, especially based off him. But I do know if you're a free guy coming off the edge, he's going to spin. He's going to pretend like he doesn't see you and do a little spin out and go run for 15, 20 yards. So I'm going to, try to keep our guys alert to that and hopefully not let that happen.
Hey, Tyrell, Trey was pretty, he didn't want to allude to too much that there's anything on the line these next 2 games that you guys go toe-to-toe. Everybody's excited here in Edmonton. Everybody's talking about the Ford brothers matchup. Is there anything on the line here? Are you guys going to be chirping each other? Like, what's going on there come Saturday on the field?
Of course, there's obviously the game itself. It's competitive. Obviously, you want to win. But we train together in the off season, and it's the first time we've ever played against each other. There's going to be huge bragging rights. So, if he even completes like a 10-yard pass on me, I'm not going to be mad. Not right now, but probably after the game. But if I get an interception, I'm keeping it. I'm giving it to him.
Oh, that's great to hear, Tyrell. One last one here for you, and thank you for taking the time. I know you guys just wrapped up practice and meetings and all that. You were with the Green Bay Packers in 2023, attended their training camp. What was that experience like for you?
It was a pretty cool experience. I learned a lot about football, especially the American game. It is pretty similar once you learn all like the terminology and everything. But I was also playing inside at nickel, which I've never really done before. And there's a lot more moving parts and a lot more going on. You're a lot more involved in the game. So I kind of like that aspect of it. It was pretty cool. And just I learned, I guess, like how to be a pro. There was a couple guys there that I really looked up to, and I really liked the way they handle business on and off the field. And yeah.
Nice, Tyrell. I lied. I got one more. We got some people on our nasty chat asking, will the Ford family be up for this game? Will your pops be up? How many people you guys coming to this matchup? Because I know you guys are out east, so it might not be feasible right now. We
don't normally, my dad usually doesn't really travel to the game unless we're playing in Hamilton or Toronto. Mm-hmm. But he'll definitely be watching. And I'm assuming everybody else in my family. So, there's not going to be a lot of people. My dad was trying to figure out which team do I cheer for. And I was like, when we play in Edmonton, cheer for Edmonton. When we play Winnipeg, cheer for Winnipeg. It just makes it easier. You can wear my jersey, wear his jersey. It makes it easy.
I love that strategy, Tyrell. Tyrell, this has been great. Thank you for taking the time to join us. All the best the rest of the week and on Saturday. And, it's going to be a fun 2 games. All the best.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That was pretty cool. I felt like I was talking to Trey.
No, I know. Yeah. I like how, they're both professionals, right? And they're just looking at it one game at a time. But I do like that if he does get a INT, he's keeping the ball.
I'm keeping the ball. He had a little more, oomph. Trey's more kind of mild-mannered, more calm. Why not?
I wanted to ask him about his the parents situation. That's got to be tough.
Yeah.
When you watch it, sitting in the stands and and watching these both your kids go at it at the offense and defense. It's not like they're always going to be up against one another. So that's pretty cool.
It's great because I've seen their dad. He's always, like you said, he's always out at the Hamilton. He's always wearing the Trey Ford jersey. But I like the strategy. When it's in Edmonton, you cheer for Trey. When it's in Winnipeg, you cheer for Tyrell. So
they need one of those mixed jerseys though, like the cut in half, right?
Yeah, but that was great, man. I really enjoyed that interview. Let's get to the nasty chat here. Chris Cortez says, ain't nothing like intercepting your brother's passes, especially in the pro game. Good luck, Tyrell. And then Matt Hyman says, that's hilarious about dad being able to cheer for Trey when they're at home. And Zachticum, are you available there?
I'm available now,
Can you bring up the power rankings? Because this is pretty damn cool as well.
Yeah, let's do it.
We had both Trey and Tyrell on as they get to meet for the first time because they did meet in 2022 in the preseason. Okay. But I don't know if they got any reps against each other, like offense, defense. So this is the first time they're meeting. And I think Trey said yesterday it's the first time they're playing against each other like at a high level, like maybe when they were kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But the CFL dropped their rankings today, and look at number 1 and 2, Gager. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, it's no secret over the past few weeks. Everyone's saying the exact same thing. They're the two teams that are playing at the highest level right now. I mean, again, last weekend was hilarious in the CFL. It just I would never have called that on my betting slip, but it just goes to show you there's a lot of parity in this league. I think that's what you want, with arguably the best game of the season coming up Saturday night here at Commonwealth.
Yeah, it's just great. I mean, you look at that. Winnipeg won, the Elks 2. I'm surprised BC is what are they 7th? That surprises me a little bit.
Really? Why?
Well, I understand they lost bad at home.
Yeah, but they lost before that. And even when Rourke came back, I think he got blamed a little bit too much for not being successful.
Yeah.
But they haven't been really great over the last little bit, have they?
Oh, yeah, but I still think they should be ranked ahead of Hamilton and Toronto. Maybe Hamilton. But that's interesting. But look, and just the way this whole season's turned around, 0-7, and now Edmonton's ranked number 2, and the top 2 teams playing right now and ranked right now are meeting at Commonwealth Stadium at 5 o'clock. If you're not going to that game, make sure and reach out now and try to get some tickets because it's going to be a riot. It's going to be a fun time. It's campus clash, so it's going to be McEwen, Nate, U of A students there. I will be there as well. I'm going to be at the tailgate as well saying hi to everybody. It's going to be great to be out there, and hopefully the Elks can pick up a big 2 points because it would go a long way in their pursuit of a playoff spot. I asked Maddie and Tommy on the hangout, do you want, because Saskatchewan plays Calgary, who do you want to win? One said Calgary, one said Saskatchewan. I picked Calgary because you still have a game against them. Because if Saskatchewan wins, and let's just say the Elks drop the game on Saturday, they fall even further behind.
Right. Yeah, I would. I'd love to see the Elks just run the board here.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Doug Dad
like says, I said, everything's in their own hands, right?
Destiny is in their own hands.
You don't want to be scoreboard watching late, right? Just take care of your business.
So Winnipeg twice, and then they get Calgary, Saskatchewan, Toronto. That's 4 huge West games. If they can win those, the Elks will be in the playoffs for the first time since 2019. And Duck Dad says on the nasty chat, chili cook-off at the tailgate as well. Jeez, Gager.
Yeah.
Beans or no beans?
Always beans. I don't really care.
Well, according to Iwanek, there's no beans in real chili.
Has he even made chili? Jesus.
But I enjoyed that interview with Tyrell Ford, and thanks to Darren Cameron there, the media relations guy in Winnipeg, for hooking that up. Gager, we're at 53 thumbs up. We're rolling.
Hey, 50 an hour. All we need is 47 more people.
47. But Marc-Andre Bergeron's number. 47.
You can't say his name. Is that the guy that fell on
roll? Yeah.
You can't say that before.
Hey, Sean Horkoff's birthday today, too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good old Hork.
Good old Hork. Who's with Detroit right now?
Yeah, I think some sort of player development role with Detroit.
I'm going to test our listeners right now before we go to break. and text it in at 780-218-9999 or on the Nasty Chat in honor of Horkoff's birthday. And I'll ask you after the break, what was the first number he wore for the Edmonton Oilers?
I should know that.
Let's see what your knowledge is at when it comes to the 90s, early 2000 Oilers. But coming up in hour 2, we'll keep talking Oilers, CFL, NFL. We'll be joined by Israel Fehr from The Athletic as we continue to preview NHL teams. And we'll head to Vancouver, which is going to be an interesting conversation. They've had a very interesting offseason as well. That's all coming up next here on Edmonton Sports Talk. You're listening to EST Afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Few of us can say that we're over 60 and still hot, but Mr. Mike's Burger can. And to celebrate over 60 years of Mr. Mike's famous burger, you're invited to taste history for only $8.99 at Mike Burger Madness. Savor the original flame-grilled Mike Burger on their signature garlic French loaf for a limited time. Dine-in only price.
With a championship caliber design, premier conditions, and above all, a fun, laid-back experience. Get top-notch service and unmatched value every time you play at the ranch. Think you have what it takes to go low? The best value for your golfing buck is always the ranch. The Ranch Golf and Country Club. 10, 50, 100, and 200 round packs on sale. TheRanchGolf.com.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf, oh sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Hockey's right around the corner, and the Oilers have released their broadcasting schedule for the regular season with the home opener going October 9th against the Jets. The Oilers play the Jets in their first preseason action on the 22nd as well. Red Blacks linebacker has been injured. Darius Pickett, my apologies, has been injured and will be out for the remainder of the season. In his first year with the Red Blacks, he was 8th in tackles before his injury now. The Dallas Stars have re-signed defenseman Esa Lindell to a 5-year extension worth an average $5.25 million per season. 30-year-old was drafted 74th overall back in 2012 and played his entire career with the Stars. In baseball, the Blue Jays are back in action with the Rangers tonight. First pitch goes at 6:05. And this weekend, it's the Edmonton Elks up against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That game goes at 5 o'clock. Jay Milne and Matthew Iwanek will have the Green and Gold kickoff show from the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge at 4 p.m. this Saturday. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and now you're up to date.
Here on a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. It's beautiful outside, about 23 degrees. This is EST Afternoons. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage, Zachticum here, and we got a bunch of guesses on Horkoff's first number. Gager? You knew it all along, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Rob gets it. The Hork wore 36, and
Yes,
that was
he
it.
did. His rookie year.
His rookie year. That was my last year with the Oilers. I got sent down to play some games because I'd been sitting for a long time. So I went down to Hamilton, played a couple games, and Hork came back up with me.
Oh, okay.
So we were on the all happy going back up to the big club. He ended up staying. I went back. But no, this is what I tell people. Like, not everyone's top six, okay? Hork was just a hard-nosed, like, grinding player, skilled, but he had to find his way in the NHL. Like, he had to figure out how he was going to stay, and that was being a good penalty killer, good on face-offs. Like, he carved out an unreal NHL career with what he had, just because of his work ethic. I'm not going to say he wasn't skilled or anything, but he had to do a lot to end up from where he was at the beginning, like fourth line, a few minutes a night, to being a pretty consistent top six player.
Yeah, and he got a nice 6-year contract out of it. Number
Very
one center,
nice.
played a lot with Alish Hemsky. Yeah, he was a solid player. I know a lot of people kind of like the Darnell Nurse contract. A lot of people hated it, and just he wasn't. But in that time within the Oilers, they didn't have the top end centerman. Like,
no,
Horkoff was the guy, and like you said, he was a solid player. We do have some breaking news from the Edmonton Oilers. The board is not here because it's at the SU, so we would have played a nice breaking news zinger there, or hotkey, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, this is coming from the Edmonton Oilers as they announced they have mutually parted ways with assistant GM Brad Holland. Not Brad Holland. Jeff Jackson goes on to say, "We thank Brad for his work during this time with the Oilers organization, and we wish him well in his future endeavors." That's coming from Oilers head guy, CEO, and president of hockey operations, Jeff Jackson. I mean, not shocking.
Well, it is a little.
Is it for you?
Why wasn't this done before? Or maybe there was a contract negotiation going on, or I don't know how many years he had left in his deal. Obviously, it was up.
Yeah.
Or there was some sort of negotiations on where he would probably be. It seems like there was, I mean, I'm completely speculating here, but I think there was what the responsibilities of Brad Holland's duties were, and what probably he wanted to do were different in this case, and hence the parting of the ways. I mean, probably a little bit tough with Ken, and moving on and stuff. So
that's what I mean.
To me, I think there was I don't want to say complete bad blood, but I think there
could be, though.
Look, I'd never heard Ken Holland say once that he wanted to leave as GM of the Edmonton Oilers, right? And it was always, there was speculating that he was done after this. To me, a true hockey guy like Ken Holland, of course he wanted to take another run and try to go out as a champion again. So yeah, Oilers move on, wipe the slate clean. This is now you could probably say, I mean, not that it wasn't before, but this is Jeff Jackson and Stan Bowman's team.
This is their
forward.
show to run right now. Yeah. So it could be that too. So Brad Holland's official title was Assistant General Manager, Director of Professional Scouting. And
I think he was more responsibilities with Bakersfield, right? That was his kind of job a lot of with the young guys.
So they have 3 assistant general managers listed on their website. So let's go like this. It says Bill Scott, Assistant General Manager, Hockey Operations. Keith Gretzky, Assistant General Manager, GM, Bakersfield Condors.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, that seems like Brad was more involved with the Oiler team and the pro scouting side.
And really, I mean, aside from the Oilers haven't done a good enough job in the later rounds to find those diamonds like they did back in 1992, the 5th round and 109th overall.
Who was that? By the way?
He's sitting here.
It's just some goaltender from Vancouver. And,
no, but they haven't, man. They need to find those players. I know it's difficult. It's every team, but if you look at other teams, I'd like to see that. If you know, let us know. Well, we'll try to do some research. But when's the last time like a late round pick became a regular Edmonton Oiler?
Yeah, it's a great question. Like I'm trying to think on the spot here, but I'll look at and this guy was a bottom six guy, but Kyle Brodziak was a guy that was drafted really late.
He was really late. I don't know, unreal career.
Like I'm just trying to think of their roster now. Most of them are high picks or guys.
They're all first, second rounders, third rounders, right? There's nothing in those later rounds that they were able to capture on. So, and that makes a huge deal, man.
Oh,
if you can find some of those players, especially in one draft, like get a couple of those guys that become part of your team, that's massive.
But even in the pro scouting, when you can find that kind of diamond in the rough, that's, he's not getting the opportunity, or kind of like a Ty Emberson. I mean, if this guy works out, like, who's going to get credit for this?
Ooh, who does get credit for this? I don't know.
Dash in from Heavy Hockey says Vinny was a 6th rounder. That's decent. Yeah.
But yeah, okay. I guess that's Vinny.
Yeah.
Then that's what you need. Like, it took a while.
Yeah, he didn't come up till he's 26?
28, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's
27 because he's 29 now, correct?
Is he that old?
I think so.
Here, I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, because he's 28, so he came up he was about 26 years old when he finally made it. So,
I think he's turning 29 this year.
But you make a great point, because it's rare that a late draft pick of the Oilers turns out.
And I mean, it's rare that lots of teams late draft picks.
Yes, it's not just the Oilers.
It's not just the Oilers, but there's if you look around the league, I'd have to do a little bit more research, but seeing some teams, like, team that comes to mind is sometimes Dallas seems to get some.
Detroit back in the day. Datsuk and Zetterberg.
Well, I mean, their European scouting division was absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, just finding some of these players that pan out later on. You have to. The evaluation of talent has to be so good to have the foresight to say, what, these guys are going to be, maybe not yet, but they're going to be something in the future.
Exactly. Nature Boy says on the EST inbox at 780-218-9999. Good point, Gager. Holland also said he was going to retire. He never said he wanted to leave the Oilers. Clearly, he was told his contract was not going to be renewed. Plumber Topher says, wasn't Vinny a 7th round? That is correct. He was a 7th round pick. Dash also says Brad Holland identified Klim Kostin. Casino Dealer Jay says Ethan Bear, Caleb Jones combo. I'll give him that one, because those were guys that made the NHL.
Ethan Bear's still in the NHL, isn't he? Or is he injured? What round was Ethan Bear?
I think 4th. 5th for both those guys, and they didn't turn out what we thought they would be. Brandon Davidson's another one that's coming in. So there's a few, but I mean, again, Caleb Jones, Ethan Bear are NHLers, but they didn't make the Oilers better. Like, that's our point. Like, they didn't have an impact on the team.
They fell out of favor, right? Like, yeah, Ethan Bear was a 5th rounder. I was higher.
And Caleb Jones was because where was Caleb Jones last year? He was in Colorado. He was a 4th rounder.
Okay.
And I saw both guys play in the Dove. They were both really good. But again, like, we're talking about players like I don't want to say Datsuk or Zetterberg, but a guy that's really stood out for the Edmonton Oilers. And these guys were good initially, and then they fell out of favor. Like you said, the Oilers moved on from them. Brandon Davidson was a nice story.
Yeah.
But he was on teams that when the Oilers were pretty bad. So it's kind of hard to gauge that as well. And Klim Kostin, I mean, if it is true that, I don't know if Brad Holland's the one that kind of identified him, but that was a hell of a get.
At the time, yeah. Yeah, he kind of fell off.
What you gave up.
Yeah.
And Klim fell off huge in Detroit last year. And then didn't he get traded back to San Jose or something like that? So
yeah, I think so. But he's a first rounder though.
Yeah, we're talking about. What are you talking about? Fourth round and down.
Yeah, I would say like late fourth and up. Right. When's the last time an Oiler, or he was a draft pick of the Oilers? Besides, like Darnay worked out, but yeah, you just got to. Those are really important contracts to have too, right? Like having some entry level deals on guys still that are journeyman players that aren't commanding a lot of the salary.
Casino Dealer Jay says, "Well, geez, you'll have to go back to Fernando Pisani, and that's a good one, 8th round pick."
Yeah, I mean Fernando. There you go.
And we were talking about Horkoff too. He was a late round pick. We brought up Kyle Brodziak. So yeah, the Oilers haven't had a lot of success in that part of the draft. Like, yeah, most of their guys are first or second rounders. Rarely you'll get a third.
It's hard. I've been part of it, so I know. Like, for a lot of times, your 5th, 6th, or 7th rounder, if they're in the American League, they could be playing just as much and better than your first rounder or second rounder.
Yeah.
But because they're picked in the first or second round, most times than not, they're the first call-ups too, right? So you have to be head and shoulders above what they're doing. And even then, I've seen first rounders that just completely are brutal in the American League, and they get called up.
Yeah.
And they usually go up and score. Where they couldn't buy a goal in the American League, but they go up and score and then they stay. So
Maximus Warner is the next late round pick who will become a good player. Mark Impey's country. And listen, I know a lot of people are high on Maximus. I love that name. That's what I'm going to call him by his first name. He's probably still a year or two away, maybe 3. Like he's still pretty raw, but I get why people like him. He was one of the better players at the Young Stars tournament, according to a lot of people that watched him, because I didn't watch a lot of that tournament.
No, it was a rough tournament for the young guns.
Yeah, and just some news, like our Zach said, Esa Lindell, who's a hell of a defenseman, signs a 5-year deal, AAV of 5.25. Sabres signed restricted free agent Peyton Krebs to a 2-year, $2.9 million deal. And last night, Lucas Raymond, a very fascinating player, very dynamic player for the Red Wings, signs a long-term deal, 8-year contract worth $64.6 million. You think that's too much, too soon?
No, I don't. He's a really good player. He's their best player. And we said, Dusty and Cass and I said, I think they're hoping that this turns into like one of those Leon Draisaitl deals.
Exactly. Yeah.
Roland in the on the text line 780-218-9999 it says, can you think of any other team in the NHL history that parted ways with both GM and assistant GM after going to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup?
No.
That's
very simple. Yeah.
Trailblazers here. Yeah, that's a unique stat, I think you'd have to say, right? And look, you have to change things. You can't stay the same and hope for you didn't accomplish what you wanted to do. So there are going to be changes. Obviously, every NHL team makes changes going into from year to year. But yeah, that's I think you'd be hard pressed to find that anywhere else in any sport, that a team almost wins a championship and then two key figures in the front office they move on from.
But we all knew that Kenny Holland was going to leave after this year. Like, there's no chance of him staying. Like, that was already written. I think it was, because it was already.
I know he had a 5, but how many times do you see GMs sign a 1-year deal or what?
I'm staying. I want to see this through.
If there was any person that could probably, okay, let's Kenny 1 more year do this or whatever. But I mean, I guess. I always thought there was a possibility, but I guess the fact that everything was going through Jeff Jackson.
Yeah.
That it might have been in pencil, but the writing was on the wall.
Yeah, exactly. So Tube Sock says, from the moment Holland arrived, he had always said that he was here for 5 years only, but so close. And
But you never heard him say, I'm leaving.
Yeah, we're all assuming that Jackson came in and made all the moves. Like, we don't know that. I don't know that at least. So, interesting day, though. Brad Holland and the Edmonton Oilers mutually agreed to part ways here. And we'll continue the hockey talk. We're going to preview the Vancouver Canucks, who gave the Oilers a hell of a test in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The stress level in that series almost killed good old Hernan here. But we're going to be joined by Israel Fehr coming up next from The Athletic here on EST Afternoons. But first, here's a sports update with Zach.
Just as Hernan said, the Oilers have announced that they're moving on from assistant GM Brad Holland. Holland joined the team back in 2019 as a scout and was promoted to assistant GM and pro scout during the 2022-23 season. Esa Lindell has re-upped with the Dallas Stars, inking a 5-year deal worth just over $5 million per season. The defenseman has played his entire career with the Dallas Stars. The Ottawa Red Blacks have suffered an injury with linebacker Darius Pickett out for the remainder of the season. He injured his Achilles last week against the Tiger Cats and will miss the remainder of the year. This weekend, it's the Elks and Blue Bombers at Commonwealth Stadium with kickoff at 5. Matthew Wanick and Jay Milne will be live from the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge on Fort Road for the Green and Gold kickoff show, starting just an hour before action. You can find them down there for every single Elks game. NFL running back Kareem Hunt has signed with the Chiefs practice squad. The former Chief was drafted in the 3rd round back in 2017 and most recently played with the Cleveland Browns. And the Miami Dolphins have officially put quarterback Tua Tagovailoa on the injury reserve. He suffered a concussion in the team's loss to the Buffalo Bills last Thursday and is out indefinitely. Just after the break, Israel Fehr will be joining Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage here on EST Afternoons to preview the Canucks leading into their upcoming season. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your EST Update.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
At A&W, you can start the morning off right with a regular coffee and an egger of your choice for just $4.99. Bacon and egger or sausage and egger on a seeded bun or an English muffin? The choice is yours. But we know it'll be tasty either way. And to make matters even more delicious, this offer is available all day. But don't snooze on this deal. An egger and a regular coffee for only $4.99 is a limited time price. Available at participating A&W restaurants in Greater Edmonton.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf. Oh, sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
.25 here on this wonderful Tuesday afternoon in Edmonton. Thank you for tuning in to Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. This is EST Afternoons. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage, and Zach Kubusch joining you here as we're ready to bring in Israel Fehr from The Athletic as we continue our NHL previews as we're going to head to Vancouver and talk Vancouver Canucks. Israel, how's the offseason been for you?
It's been good, but happy to have hockey season around the corner here, guys. It should be fun.
Yeah, an interesting offseason for the Canucks. I guess we'll start with the big story there, which is between the pipes. What is the latest on Thatcher Demko and Arturs Shilovs there as camp is about to begin?
Yeah, obviously with Demko, a lot of rumors over the last few weeks with his injury status, his health status. Got hurt late last season, tried to come back for the playoffs, did play in the first game against Nashville in round one, but then was not seen after that. And the feeling in the fan base was that he should be ready to go for training camp. And late August, some news that maybe that wasn't quite the case since then. And we'll probably know more in the next couple of days with camp opening. The news was a little bit more positive that it's not going to be a long-term absence. If anything, it's going to be about injury management. And he's a guy that has dealt with injuries in the past. He's had some hip issues, some knee issues. So this will be, I think, something that the Canucks are looking at managing long-term. And as far as Shilovs is concerned, I think he's all systems go. There was the minor hiccup there with the Olympic qualifying tournament, but he's a guy that obviously showed very well for the team in the playoffs, having been pressed into duty with Demko and then DeSmith's injury. And so there's still pretty high expectations for him. Should he be healthy to start the season, that he'll be the guy that they can lean on until Demko's ready to go.
So Israel, if all systems were go, I mean, you already mentioned the fact that there's kind of a little bit more leaning more towards some, lack of a better term, load management with Thatcher Demko. What would you say the percentage would look like from the Vancouver Canucks coaching staff of how they would implement these two? Because obviously by game 83, you want Thatcher Demko to be not only healthy, but at the top of his game.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, I think, the most important thing for this team. And last year, they got off to such a great start. Demko was such a big part of that. But there were some times maybe during the season where he could have been rested a little bit more. So I think we're going to see a little bit more of a split once he comes back. 2-3 games for Demko, 1 game for Shilovs, where there was a point during the season where the team was maybe slipping a little bit, and Demko was the guy that was being pressed into action to keep them above board. As you guys well know, the Oilers made a very strong push late in the season last year where that seemed like a foregone conclusion, and the Canucks ultimately did hold on for the division, but there was a time where that didn't seem necessarily like it was going to happen. So that was a big push on Demko. And I think that they know they need to avoid that. They're in a position here where expectations are very high. The fan base, while was very excited to take in the playoffs for the first time in nearly a decade. The expectations now are to at least get as far as they did last year, which was getting into the second round. And that's the bar for this team. And for them to do that, realistically, they're going to need Thatcher Demko to be fresh and to be at his best, which we know at his best, he's among the best goalies in the league.
Israel Fehr from The Athletic joining us here as we're previewing the Vancouver Canucks medical fitness testing kicks off tomorrow here for the Edmonton Oilers. Israel, is goaltender Kevin Lankinen still on the Canucks radar? I'm seeing a lot of conflicting reports on the socials and all that.
He's been a name that's been thrown out there for the last few weeks. My understanding is that the Canucks have been interested in him, but that there's probably a gap between what he's looking for as a guy who's played in the NHL for a number of years and has had some degree of success, and then what the Canucks can offer, especially the way that they're talking about Demko at the moment. I think if the conversation around Demko was this guy's going to miss 3 months, 4 months, maybe it's a different result. But the way that the Canucks and Rick Tocchet are talking about it right now is that things are progressing well, and that I don't think they want to necessarily commit to a veteran goalie who's coming off, it's not a huge contract by any means, but is coming off, a multi-million-dollar contract in the NHL, and a guy who played pretty well last year. So I don't think he's looking to just take whatever is offered to him. And who knows, maybe the Demko situation changes, Lankinen's still out there, and that they come to some agreement. But I think there's been interest there, but I don't expect anything to happen imminently at the very least.
Israel, you also have a local product on the team this year that I know his mom, Cindy, is very happy about. Easier to go watch and see is one Jake DeBrusk. There was a lot of Oilers fans that would have liked to have seen Jake become like his father, an Edmonton Oiler at one point. Where do you see him kind of slotting into this lineup within the top six?
Yeah, he's definitely going to be a top six guy, whether that's playing with Elias Pettersson, which is I think where we'll likely see him line up to start training camp. There is the off chance that Rick Tocchet wants to see different combinations and he could play with JT Miller. But going back to July 1 and when he signed with Vancouver, it really did seem like everything was pointing to him being a guy that could play with Pettersson, that could help Pettersson raise his game. That was a big talking point for the Canucks in the playoffs last year. Pettersson, while he was not at his best and was not an impact player, the wingers that he was playing with were also not helping him a lot. And so DeBrusk got a long-term contract here, an opportunity that I think came and went for him in Boston. He was a guy that when he was in his groove was a really productive player and has had productive years, but that was a really tough team, I think, to get those consistent opportunities. I think he is coming into Vancouver with a pretty big goal, which is be the guy that can play next to Elias Pettersson, get the best out of him, and potentially put up the best numbers of his career as well.
Israel, staying with the top six, like you said there, Pettersson is probably going to play with DeBrusk because that's a good duo, and then you got JT Miller with Brock Besser, who had an outstanding season. It was unfortunate to see him leave the playoffs due to the blood clots. So you have 2 and 2. Who are the other two wingers? And I know it's early that you think are going to slide in there in those top two lines.
Yeah, it's a really good question because Connor Garland and Dakota Joshua played super well last year, but they were very much a third line duo, and they rotated a couple of different centers. We saw Lindholm play with them late in the season. So they're guys that I think Garland in particular are better suited in that third line role. So I think you're looking at some of the offseason signings, some of the guys that were brought in on maybe cheaper deals, guys like Danton Heinen, guys like Kiefer Sherwood. I think Niels Höglander will have an opportunity to stake his claim for a top six role. They are very much looking, I think, at the team as being one that's going to be dominated by those duos. So as you mentioned, Miller and Besser last year playing together, they were very effective. Pettersson, they lacked finding that winger for him, although at times he and Höglander together proved that they could produce. And I think for the Canucks, they're looking at it as DeBrusk is an obvious upgrade on Höglander, but Höglander could still be part of that unit as well. And so they went out of their way to add to the depth on the wings and give themselves a few more options. While I think they're still open to the idea that someone, probably Joshua more so than Garland, could get that opportunity, he could be someone that plays on Pettersson's line. But because of the depth adds that they made in free agency, they can always default to Garland and Joshua together because they had a lot of success together last season.
Just last year, fantastic season from Quinn Hughes, Norris Trophy. Can he kind of repeat that performance again? I know there was always discussion that it's only a matter of time before he's in discussion with the other elite defensemen in the league, but it's very different when a team has someone who can command the offense from the back end and move it forward to a pretty good, solid, talented forward group. Is he in the discussion, do you think, for another Norris Trophy, just as you've seen his progression?
I think so. He's a guy that really, if you look at his whole career, he had one down year, which was the Canadian division year, where the matchups didn't really go well for him. They struggled to find the partner for him. But other than that, he's constantly improved. And now he obviously set the bar really high with the way that he played last year, with the way that he was able to produce offensively. But for this team to have success, he's going to have to be one of the top 5 D-men in the league. And if you're in that conversation, then you're going to probably end up on Norris ballots as well. The real question with him is, are they going to default to playing him with Filip Hronek again? That pair was really good, but there is a little bit of a lack of depth on defense for this team. And I think they would like in an ideal world for Hronek to be a guy that could carry his own pairing, be a true second pairing guy. That said, if that's going to be, a detriment to the way Hughes plays and how much he plays, the actual just offensive production that he puts up, and if you just look at the underlying metrics, the two-way stuff, I mean, Hughes was a very worthy Norris winner from that standpoint as well. So those are questions I think going into camp that they're gonna want to have answered. I think they're pretty comfortable with Soucy and Myers being a combo. Vincent Desharnais is going to have an opportunity to be a PK guy and a third pair guy for this team. So they've got some pieces that they can move around. But yes, of course, it starts with Quinn Hughes, because when you've got that skating ability, you've got the hockey IQ that he has, that gives them such a boost in terms of deciding what else they want to do on the blue line. But he's going to be the guy that leads the charge. And I have every reason to think that he can be just as good as he was last season.
Israel, one of the most interesting players here at Oilers camp will be Vasily Podkolzin. I mean, just an interesting player in his time with Vancouver. I know a lot of people were high, a lot of people were low on him, but can you give us a quick scouting report on this player, kind of the good and bad of Vasily Podkolzin?
Yeah, I always liked his game. He works hard. He's got the physicality to him. He skates fairly well. The issue with him in Vancouver is he didn't produce enough offensively. There weren't enough goals. There weren't enough assists. He's a guy that I think is going to, if he ever does get to a point in the NHL where he's a productive player, it's going to be as a goal scorer. He's not going to be a playmaker. And it's not like he's afraid of going to the net. He doesn't shy away from physicality. It's just that the production wasn't there. There weren't enough goals, and you could look at different opportunities that he got. And hey, how is a guy supposed to produce in a strict fourth line role? As his playing time decreased, the team got better. And while he did come in late in the season after spending most of the year in the AHL and show relatively well in an energy role, when push comes to shove, where in your playoff series and you need some of these guys to produce, he just wasn't able to get it done. That said, I think he's got a pretty good opportunity in Edmonton with the pieces around him, and that he's going to play for this team, it looks like, and that he's a guy that I would still bet on to. I don't think he's going to be a top 6 player at this point, but he's a guy that, could he settle into being a really strong third line player? I mean, I just talked about Dakota Joshua, right? That's a guy that went many years before getting the kind of opportunities that he got in Vancouver. He's not quite as big as Joshua. He's maybe not quite as physical, but I think you could argue that some of his traits, his skating and so on, are just as good, if not better. He does have that first round pedigree. So I think that there's still something there. I thought it was a really nice pickup for the Oilers, given what happened, losing Dylan Holloway and being able to plug that hole with a guy that's going to cost you a lot less. And while Holloway showed really well in the playoffs, it's not like he had produced to such a huge degree for the Oilers when he did play.
Israel, great breakdown on the Canucks. Going to be fun to see. I know last year they had an amazing season. The series with the Oilers was just top notch. The stress levels were high in both cities. It created a lot of conflict between the two fan bases. But I'm looking forward to it this year again. It's great when Vancouver and Edmonton are both at the top of their game. Israel, thank you for the time, and I'm sure we'll talk throughout the season here.
Yeah, sounds great, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
That's Israel Fehr from The Athletic covering the Canucks. Great breakdown, Gager.
Yeah, no, that was good. I'm interested about the Canucks. They're an interesting team. I think going into last year, I think they caught a lot of people off guard just from how the prior season went.
Yeah.
I think they got with Tocchet. I think he changed a lot of things, but I think a lot of things go as to how good Thatcher Demko and Quinn Hughes go too.
Yeah.
So, and they both at the start of the season were Vezina and Norris. Well, obviously he won the Norris, but they played at that level to begin, right? Bones in on the text line. I was thinking the same thing, Bones. So obviously great minds, but Garland hinted at leaving last year.
Yeah.
Is he now happy or is still looking to leave? Yeah, they were shopping him around. Like they told, I believe, his agent to try to find a deal.
Yeah.
And man, I remember watching in playoffs going, God, I'm sure there's a lot of Oilers fans that wish he found somewhere else to play because there's something there with that. Like he's a dynamic little player, right?
He was good in Arizona.
He's a really good player.
I think in game one when they beat the Oilers 8-1, he's like, yeah, it might go well this year here. I might want to stay.
See, I think Bones, like we heard Israel talking, sliding into that. Here's a guy that probably wants to be a top 6 guy.
Yeah.
But is getting third line minutes. Right. And not actually realizing that he can probably have a lot of success on that third line, but also there's cookie time on the PK units. He probably can slide in on one of those. But I think that's where the original displeasure of being where he was on the depth chart. You have to think that this year, after his performance against the Oilers, that there could be a chance of him in that top 6 at some point, but over an 82 game season, it's hard
because I think it's wide open because Daniel Sprong, Niels Hoglander, I mean, they're not guys that are always in the top 6. I mean,
no.
So there is opportunity, but he did say him and Dakota Joshua have really good chemistry. So why would you split that up? Like if it's working, why do you want to jump into the top 6? Right?
Yeah.
Like I get it. I get
it too. Because there's an ice time thing, but I mean, when they popped out against the Oilers, they went up against the McDavid line at time, or if they were caught out there, and it wasn't like McDavid feasted or Leon feasted. Like they were tough. And I said this before. I thought that Joshua, I thought he was going to be one of the biggest things that the Oilers were going to have to wear. He seemed to fade late in that series. You didn't notice him as much, but he's definitely someone that you want to watch. I always thought that would be a perfect target for the Oilers.
Yeah.
A big, huge, strong winger that can, create havoc.
Timber Woodsman says on the inbox, Canucks can have a step back this season. I'll say I agree. I still think they're a playoff team. I still think they're going to be a very hard out for anyone that meets them in the playoffs. But I think it was Jeff Patterson was on with Dusty last week covering the Canucks, and he said everything went well up until late February, early March when Demko went down. Yeah. But they were still playing well. But he said their top 5 goal scorers, Gager, I think he said they missed like a total of 5 games.
Yeah.
Or something. I was like... And that reminded me of 2017 Edmonton Oilers where everything went well. Letestu career year, Maroon career year. Like everything went well. No one got hurt. And I think that's why Vancouver might take a small step back is because I don't think everything's going to go their way this year.
If they don't, Demko covers up a lot of mistakes.
Yes, he does.
And if he's not ready to go, with that decor, although it's, they have a really good defenseman, it kind of looks similar to Winnipeg's, right? Where they have the good first pair, and then you're kind of mixing and matching.
Well, I guess we'll get to it after the break. But the concerning thing with Demko is there was a couple of articles written on it where it sounds like the injury he has is something he's just going to have to deal with for the rest of his career. And that's concerning.
Yeah.
Because they can act up. You know what I mean? Like and you would think it'd be fixed by now because he missed most of the playoffs. And obviously this is an ongoing issue, and they're kind of looking at all different avenues to see what they have. But I'm with you, man. I know you're high on Demko. I think he's one of the best goalies in the league.
He's unreal, dude.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him as a little kid. I went down to Airdrie to a little tournament. He was part of the LA. My buddy Nick Vachon was coaching the Junior Kings.
Yeah.
And I was like, your goalie's amazing. He goes, yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, he's great. Coming up next, we're going to close out the EST afternoons as Reed and Jay are down there at the Metro Garneau Theater getting ready for the ESTs. They'll be live from 3 to 6. But like I said, big shout out to Israel Fehr for joining us. Great breakdown on the Vancouver Canucks. You want to listen to it, hit up all the podcast options you have. You can also go back and watch it on YouTube. We'll keep rolling here. 2:44 in Edmonton. Coming up next, we'll close out the show and set up Reed and Jay. But first up, here is Zach with a sports update.
Assistant GM Brad Holland and the Edmonton Oilers have mutually agreed to part ways. Holland joined the team in 2019 as a scout before getting promoted to the assistant GM and pro scout during the 2022-23 season. Defenseman Esa Lindell has re-upped with the Dallas Stars, inking a 5-year deal worth just over $26 million. Lindell has been a star for his entire career and has played over 600 games in the NHL. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has been placed on injury reserve. The 26-year-old's earliest possible return is in Week 8 against the Cardinals. Kareem Hunt returns to the Chiefs on their practice squad, and the 29-year-old running back was cut from the Chiefs 6 years ago before most recently suiting up with the Browns. Packers place rookie RB Marshawn Lloyd on the IR. Lloyd was good for 6 carries and 15 yards this past Sunday against the Colts. Darius Pickett will miss the remainder of the season for the Red Blacks. The 28-year-old suffered an injury in the team's loss against the Tiger Cats on Saturday. And the Elks are off their bye this week when they face the Winnipeg Blue Bombers this Saturday at Commonwealth. Kickoff for that game is at 5, and Jay Milne and Matthew Iwanek have the Green and Gold kickoff show to preview that game down at the Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where you can find them for every Elks game this entire CFL season. Just after the break, Hernan and Gager will wind down their show in the final segment of EST Afternoons before teeing up the Reed Wilkins Show, which begins at the top of the hour. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your EST Update.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf, oh sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
EST Afternoons. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage, Zachticum here. So we're getting ready for the big show tonight down at the Metro Theater. The ESTYs, first annual. It's going to be fantastic. Gage and I are presenting an award. 5 we're giving out on the Hangout. Tommy won, Eric won, Maddie won. Seemed a little rigged.
Yeah, it's amazing how that worked out perfectly.
Hey, and we were just talking about the Vancouver Canucks, and they have put out a statement regarding their forward, Dakota Joshua, as he will miss the start of camp as he heals up from surgery to remove a cancerous tumor. A statement from Dakota says he was diagnosed with testicular cancer. Scary to hear, but he says, thankfully, the doctors were able to successfully remove the tumor. The last several weeks have been extremely challenging, and I've been fortunate to have the support of my family, friends, teammates, and doctors. We wish Dakota Joshua, who's a hell of a player, all the best, and hopefully he's back soon because he just makes that rivalry Canucks-Oilers that much better, Gager.
Yeah, great player. Physical. Can put the puck in the net. He's a force.
Hopefully it's a bit of a pain.
Yeah. He is. Yeah, he's one of those guys you look at and you're just like, ugh, gross.
Do I have to play this guy? Yeah, he's
like,
one of those. So that's some unfortunate news there as the Canucks already dealing with the Demko stuff. And Dakota, it seems everything's going to be okay, but he will miss and probably take him a bit to get going there. I'm seeing a bunch of pictures from Jasonville. And, they're at the Metro Cinema. They're getting ready. Zachticum, you want to bring in that graphic there with the, what do you call those again? The
marquee.
The marquee. Yeah, that looks great there. I'm trying to see it here on my screen. It's a little delayed. I just want to see what it says.
It's the ESTYs presented by Edmonton Sports Talk, I do believe.
Wow, you can see that, eh? Got great vision.
Where was a goalie?
Are you going to the ESTYs? How excited are you? We're at 71 thumbs up. We got 29 to go. Ryan McLeod, 71.
Oh, nice.
You know who else wore 71? Old school for the Edmonton Oilers. Played for the New Jersey Devils, Stanley Cup champion.
Sakura?
Yeah, good one. Good one.
Played against the guy lots.
Did you?
Yeah.
He's a good player.
He's a good player. Yeah.
Him, I always remember that line with him, Eliash, and Jason Arnott.
Played against him and Eliash in the minors. It's funny because those two, I don't know, they were way better players in the NHL than they were in the American League.
Yeah.
Sometimes
that's crazy.
That Checo give a you-know-what a meter.
Yeah.
It doesn't always rev. And it's not always in the redlining in the minors.
Yeah, there it is. EST presents EST's presented by Edmonton Sports. Sorry, I kind of butchered that. We haven't even talked about the Monday night game. A little surprised, and I'm a little less concerned because a lot of good teams are 1-1 right now.
Yeah, and I should have just gone with my original feeling from the beginning of the season. I think the Eagles are pretenders. They're going to be. It's going to be a horrible season for them.
Run the ball, you kill 40 seconds off the clock, instead you throw a pass, and then you let Kirk Cousins cook you.
Yeah.
With 140, whatever it was there. So
that's what I said was going to happen. I don't know why I stuck with it. I thought the Eagles were going to win that one, but I'm back on it. It was just, I thought the Kelsey bump with him dancing in his green tracksuit.
Man, he can move, eh?
For a big man, it looks really good. Looks really, really good. Yeah, man, this is going to be a pretty cool night for everyone. I'm looking forward to pressing the flesh, meeting some people, and
yeah, it's great to meet the listeners and like I said, put a face to the name that we see in the inbox or the nasty chat, and they're they're the big reason why we're here.
Oh my gosh!
If it wasn't for them,
yeah, we got 108 watching our show right now. 72 with the thumbs up.
77.
Nice.
I just
77.
Oscar Clafbomb. So we're still 23 short. Let's go. We got about 3 minutes here. 79 now. Did an Oiler ever wear 79? No.
Oh,
that's such a weird number to wear, though.
What are you looking forward to tonight?
I know there's a few surprises, and Maddie's been kind of tight-lipped, and so I'm intrigued by that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know one, but I don't want to ruin it because it's I don't want to be that guy. Just seeing people, I guess, just mingling and having a nice bevy with everybody. I'm intrigued by the presentation of everything. I'm fascinated about what we're going to do. I mean, we're presenting, but I think we're just going to go out there and have fun with it. And there's just a lot, but I am intrigued to see the presentation. And I know there's a few things up Maddie's sleeve that intrigue me.
Yeah, no, it's. I think there's a few surprises in store for everyone. And yeah, are you going to be going down to the cigar store down the street? And
I'm not a cigar guy.
Why not?
I don't like the smell.
Really?
Yeah. I'll have a dart, but
gross.
Wait, do you smoke cigars there, Zachticum?
I might dabble if I'm in the mood. I forgot there was a cigar store down the way, so there might be a quick stop from the Coop.
The Coop vapes though, doesn't he?
The Coop vapes.
No, I don't tell. I have my
we gotta have a talk.
my weird ways. An intervention maybe.
The popcorn lung over there.
I like some popcorn.
Do you like what's your drink of choice, Zachticum?
Oh, that's a hard one. I mean, anything that gets me going, but I'm a classic kind of guy. Rum and Coke's pretty good. Beer, you can never go wrong with beer unless it's a bad one. But usually, if it's 6 o'clock or lager or something good that, we are laughing. So either a good beer or rum and Coke for me.
And your parents are coming down to the theater, right?
Yep, and
that's awesome.
They're gonna have a good time. I mean, my dad was at the Nasty Bash, and
okay,
he had a good time there. But my mom's pretty excited to see what the hell the ESTYs are. She doesn't really watch
I don't
all
think
the
anyone
time.
knows, really.
No. So it's gonna be a pleasant surprise for her. And my dad knows what we got going on here. He listens in every once in a while, and he loves all the shows, but doesn't have the time to always tune into it, even on the podcast. But they're gonna love it, and it's just gonna be a great time all around. Even if you're not a fan of EST completely, I feel like it'd be a good time being at any award show, right?
Yeah. And
what do you drink?
Well,
besides everything,
I used to be a big beer guy, but I can't stomach too many now as I'm getting older. I like my red wine.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a big hard liquor guy either. Okay. So I know your beer, right? Gin.
No. I mean, my favorite's tequila.
I like tequila.
I've got a new drink. I've got a new drink.
What is it?
It's at the taco shop. It's the Mezcalarita. It's mezcal is like the smoky tequila.
Yeah.
So this is the recipe. It's Don Mateo mezcal, triple sec lime juice, agave syrup, and a black salt rim.
Oh.
And it is. I would drink 80 of these things.
We'll see if the after party serves these, or just give them the ingredients and they'll make it for you.
There's a Sobeys down there. Sobeys beer and liquor down. I'm sure they have a nice mezcal for me.
All right, we got to wrap up as I see our boys Reed and Jay set up down there at the theater as we get ready for the first annual ESTYs Award Show. Doors open at 6:15. We got to do some quick work here. Get home, get ready, and head down there. Big thanks to Tyrell Ford from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Israel Fehr from The Athletic, covering the Vancouver Canucks. On behalf of Zach, Joaquin Gage, I'm Hernan Salas. This has been EST Afternoons. Stick around for Reed and Jay. We'll see you tonight down at the ESTYs.